Welcome to the Healthy and Wealthy and Wise podcast with global sales trainer and professional speaker, Lois Kofi. Each week, it is her goal to share inspiration and education for you to be, do, have the best health and wealth and wisdom for your life.
Well, hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. And I always like to say happy Transformational Tuesday, especially with the show that we have in store today. My name is Lois Kofi. I'm a sales trainer / podcaster, and I am the founder of the Healthy and Wealthy and Wise podcast show that normally airs every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So you might be tuning in going, whoa, it's not Friday, right? If you're tuning in live, we'd love for you to go ahead and comment below, #live, and where you're tuning in from. And of course, if you see value and you maybe watch this on the replay, #replay. And as always, we like to say, hit the share button. Just hit that share button right below if you're watching this live or on the replay, because we believe that this message will bring lots of people value. Every week, I bring health experts, wealth experts, and people with a unique wisdom that could transform your life just by hearing them, just by participating. And of course, later on in the show, we would love it if you would comment below with questions. And if you're hearing this on iTunes or YouTube later, even months or years later, come and join us inside of the Healthy and Wealthy and Wise podcast community, because all of my guests are there, including myself, including like-minded, positive, supportive people who, as Prince would always say, we're here together, dearly beloved, to get through this thing called life and actually not just get through, but thrive through. So I'm really excited. We have a very special guest today, and we tied it with Father's Day. Now, Father's Day for me, for the last 3 years has been emotional. I lost my dad 3 years ago, last week, Friday. And when I found our guest today, Shakti Wilson, who's the founder of the Mindset Company, she's a speaker, mentor, teacher, and mindset ancestry specialist. Don't say that 3 times fast. I was like, whoa, this is really interesting, because how many of us have said, oh my gosh, my childhood was traumatic or hard, or I have these issues in life, and I'm sure it, goes back to when I was a kid. But she takes it even beyond our current parents, and we just thought this would be a great topic to bring to you in creating your best health, your best wealth, your best wisdom as we head into Father's Day. So I'm going to turn over to you, Shakti, and we'll love for you to share your story. How the heck did you come about this, and why do you do what you do?
Great. Thank you, Lois, for having me. This is going to be so much fun to be here today. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about what Mindset Ancestry is and how it was created and how it came to be. So basically, Mindset Ancestry is just a system to find out the negative and positive mindsets that your ancestors have passed down to you. We know we want to keep the good ones, right? So we can honor our ancestral gifts. We also want to heal the negative mindsets so that we can stop any toxic patterns from negatively affecting our performance in business, as well as any unnecessary problems that may show up in relationships. So how it came to me was I wanted to talk, because today we're honoring the father lineage. So here's my story in reference to my father. I was born into a lot of negative mindsets in the lineage. So mindset, I mean, my family had a lot of negative ways of thinking and behaving. And lineage, I mean that these mindsets and these toxic behaviors were passed down from generation to the next. Everybody had it. Grandparents had it, my parents had it, and then I had it. I'm sure many of you can relate to this. So my biggest negative mindset that was passed down to me was low self-value. So my dad had this mindset, and I inherited from him, came down his lineage through his father also. And in the beginning, this mindset didn't cause too many problems for me when I was young, because my mother was around and had a good role model to be high in my self-value. But she passed when I was 15. So there we go. There's my role model for the high self-esteem gone. So without her, I fell into that lineage, that ancestry of low self-value mindset. And it's been my path for all my time in coaching, all my time for me learning on my soul path. Another negative mindset that I inherited from my father was blocks to producing that he had brought down from his lineage. So for him, that would mean that he had a hard time doing what was needed for him to run his business. So with these two problems, for me, these mindsets over time, went into a depression for 7 years, didn't feel valued in relationships, couldn't find purpose in college and career, but I couldn't figure out what to do about this. So I dove into the personal development, age 21, started meditating, trying to find everything I could just to be happy. That was my goal. And eventually I realized that I saw these issues as patterns and how they were negatively affecting my life. And then I had another experience, realization that, oh, I have a choice. I didn't even have that in my mindset, that I had a choice and that I could heal these patterns. I could change them. So this was really exciting insight for me. So in reference to the low self-value, I realized that I can determine my own self-value, or I can get it from other people, parents, friends, family, school. I really had to be aware of it because it was such an issue for me in my lineage. So I came up with a mindset affirmation for me. My personal value comes from source and only source, or God or spirit, universe, whatever you call that energy. I wanted to know that my value comes from there and only there. And it was so healing for me to know that. And then in reference to the mindset of for blocks to producing, I worked to heal it in a similar way. So I created a mindset affirmation that I know exactly what I need to do to create a successful business. So because of that mindset, I have been guided every step of the way towards my success. So these changes in the mindset helped me let go of my depression, find my career purpose in creating a business to help others shift their mindset. I also realized that I had a lot more negative mindsets from my lineage that I needed to work on. And I did not want to pass these on to my kids. I did not want my kids to live with my negative mindsets. That's my major motivator why I started on this path. And so I was so determined that my motto became, this mindset stops with me. So if anyone has kids, planning to have kids, just do what you can to really let go of your own limited mindsets. It makes such a difference. And we'll talk about that influence in just a minute. So how did I shift these mindsets? I began to learn a system of pendulum dowsing to shift mindsets, and I became a teacher and a practitioner of a method called SRT, Spiritual Response Therapy. So I chose this method because it was so fast, it nailed me every single time, and I just loved it because I was on that fast track to stop my limited mind. So I've been teaching and using this method for 30 years for myself and for my clients. And then I was realizing that shifting the mindsets from the lineage is so important to have my clients realize that on a conscious level. So I mainly work with business people. I help them shift that ancestral mindset that are sabotaging their business. So, for example, if somebody has a mindset that affects their charisma or their confidence, this is important for communication. This is important for relationships and being a leader. If you have a mindset that affects emotional states, well, this is important to sell something pitch an idea. It's just amazing how you look at this. Mindsets can affect clarity of decision making, which can affect strategy and company direction. Another one can be affecting your willingness or motivation, which can affect productivity and daily habits. Another one can affect risk tolerance. Are you holding back from what you want to do? It affects big business decisions. So just a quick overview. The mindset is a group of mental and emotional patterns, positive and negative. We have both. They're both powerful. It's just which one we choose. And so these mindsets are given to you at birth, passed down from your lineage. So here's the key that I want everyone to get from today is to know that you can let go of them and they're not necessarily yours to keep. We choose to keep them. But why do we get them? Sometimes parents don't heal the mindset. If your parents didn't shift it, boom, there you get it. It's passed on to you. Sometimes there is something about a topic in the family that's not finished, and each generation feels the need to carry it. And then it's only when you're aware of it, then you can release the need to carry it. Here's an interesting one. The subconscious family identity. Sometimes a mindset persists because the family has a subconscious dedication to it. So have you ever said to yourself or heard somebody else say, it's just in the family, or this is the way it is? There's some allegiance to the way we are, and it's limiting. Sometimes the mindsets come for our personal soul growth, just to help you learn something to move on your path. So the Mindset Ancestry is a system I created just to help my clients work with what are their inherited beliefs and help them to let go. So I create a family tree, looks like a tree. I do mother's side, father's side, 3 generations back, but sometimes it is further back. But for the tree, I limited it to 3 generations back, who you got it from, and how much it's still affecting your life. Because you can have an inherited mindset. It can affect you 100% or it cannot affect you at all. Just depends on your mindset. So my goal is to help people really say that whatever mindset they come up with, that this mindset stops with me. So I do use a pendulum, and I'll show you later when we have our volunteers what that looks like. But I just wanted to give you, before we get into the volunteers, I just want to give you just an example of what happened with one of my clients. So here was a guy who wanted business success. I never met him before, don't know anything about him. He was referred by a counselor. So here, get this, on his great-grandfather's mother's side, there was a negative mindset passed down called an invisible program. So this meant that he believed that he was not seen or valued. So when somebody has this mindset, it affects their behavior unconsciously, and that behavior results in people ignoring them and not valuing their contribution. So remember, I've never met him before, so I just said, is this true for you? Does this make any sense to you? And he says, well, you know, it really does make sense because I've been at my job for 3 years. I feel totally ignored, not recognized for my ideas, and not recognized by my boss for the value I have to offer. So we did some work together to clear the mindset. But here's what happened. This is 3 days after we had our session together. He presented a big idea to his boss. He'd been pitching for 3 years. And in this meeting, the boss finally paid attention to the idea and said, why haven't I listened to you all these years? And he called in a special meeting, get the ball rolling, and his boss even hugged him. And my client was shocked. It was a complete turnaround from his experience with his boss. So what he did was he changed his mindset to one that says, I have high value and people will see me. And that created the change. And remember, when we shift, people around us shift. It's just a miracle how that happens. So when he went home, get this is just crazy. So he goes home that same day that he had that shift at work. He comes home and his 70-year-old son, who carried that same mindset of I'm not seen or valued, which meant to the 17-year-old, I never stand up for myself. So that day, his son got that energy that was shifted. And he came home and he told his dad that at school, he stood up for himself. He stood up to a teacher about an important issue. So this dad was really happy because he shifted his intention, and shifting that mindset affected his son. So that's the magic that happens when we change our consciousness and our awareness about mindsets. So Lois, let's move on to the volunteers and we'll see how it works.
I forgot I muted myself. I just wanted to say I was looking back at the report you did for me, and it was in February. And I had perfectionism, depression, obedience, block of self-expression. And for me, that manifested in an autoimmune disease in my throat and depression and, all sorts of thyroid issues, right? And so I had that session with you. We removed some stuff. And then I went on and had my first multiple 5-figure month, and it was just more transparent, more vulnerable, more open. And I just wanted to give you an acknowledgement for that because, a lot of times we're brought up, it runs in the family. I had a lot of depression in my family, all these almost like scarlet letters that were following me. And I was afraid to speak my truth. So I, so much so that I manifested this disease in my throat. Right. And so I just want to give my own quick testimonial that this stuff works, and you don't have to, quote unquote, as I've heard many times in my life, just deal with the cards that you were dealt. So I just want to acknowledge you for what you do. And I'd love to bring on one of my clients and friends, Diane Kane from the East Coast. She just celebrated, well, okay, I better not say how old you are, Diane. You might slap me for that. So I've known Diane. We actually met through in February after I, worked with, Shakti. So it all comes full circle right now. And Diane even said she had heard some things that I said that really spoke to her. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of fortuitous that here we are having this opportunity for you guys to share. So I'm going to remove myself and let you awesome ladies do your work. So go ahead, take it away.
Okay, great. Okay. So is there a particular question that you have, or would you like me just to tell you?
I am open. I would love to hear what you have to say.
Okay. Let's focus on business. Okay. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be talking about the paternal lineage. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. So I'm going to be looking down, but I'm also going to be using pendulum. Okay. And I have a series of charts that are going to give me the information. So I'm basically tapping into that consciousness to allow the information to be given to you.
Perfect.
Okay. Okay, so for this piece, we're going to go back to generation 6 on the female side. Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay. So it's, of course, pretty far back. But it's actually on the father side. Female on the father side. So I want to tell you about a loyalty. It's what's brought in from the lineage. has to do with partnerships. This is good for business and personal, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this goes right to business partners. Interesting, huh?
Yes, very.
It will affect everything in your life. So I want to go in and find out more information about that. What is the energy of that limited mindset from that generation? Because this is a long time ago, and they have a lot of trauma, So let's see what it's about. Okay. Do you know what the word appeasement means?
I just kind of give up my power. I just do whatever everybody wants to do.
Yes.
The people pleaser. Yeah.
Yes. Do you resonate with that?
Recovering. Yes. Boundaries. Yes.
Great. Okay. So this is interesting just to know that that's how far back it originated.
Wow.
Okay. Because back then, I know that we're still working on our energies and strength as women, but back then it's even harder life.
Right.
Okay. So the pattern comes down. So what we're going to do together is we're just going to, in consciousness, we're just going to ask that be cleared. Okay. That you have an awareness of it. And when I use a pendulum, I'm just asking, I'm talking to my higher self. This higher part of me is talking to that part of you. I'm not sure what your beliefs are, but all I'm doing is honoring that the power in me honors that power in you. Yes. Okay. So in the world of pendulum, it will move. The energy will move in a circle. It's our way of knowing, oh, something's happening.
It's a confirmation, right?
So that's just how I see it.
I love it.
Okay, so it's the energy is still moving. And when it's done, it's just going to give me a stop signal. And then we're going to ask, what energy would be helpful for you to replace?
That's great.
There must be more from 6 all the way down with that energy on the female, because it's still clearing. So you're carrying a lot of it. And remember, the main thing is that you don't need to carry it anymore. Okay, that you're the one, this is, I tell everybody, you're the one that can break it. You're the one that can stand strong for the female in the lineage. Okay.
I love that.
Yeah. So you're going,
absolutely.
Okay, this stops with me. Okay, girls. Okay, we're going to do it now. We're going to stand up for what we want to do and why we're here and what we need to do and how to help people.
Oh, that's and Shakti, it's such an affirmation, because when you were saying that it stops with me, that's been the part of the work that I've been doing. I know that my job is to be the disruptor.
Absolutely. So this is going to help you in it, because remember, if we try to disrupt from the outer, just the conscious, it's not going to work. We need it full subconscious. We need actually super conscious all the way, subconscious and conscious. So this is going to help you line it up so that you're really going to feel it. Okay. Now, when I do this, some people do feel a shift. I don't know if you did or not, feel lighter or anything.
Yeah, a little bit of something moving.
Okay. All right. So let's ask, what is a helpful energy for you to replace this? Just a mindset affirmation. You can include this word if you like. Yeah. Oh, I love this. It's freedom. Freedom to do what you want to do. How great is that?
I love that.
From appeasement to freedom.
Oh, yes.
let's take it. So I want to do one more thing about this female coming down. And I want to just ask, what is her gift to you? Okay. So I'm using a chart. And it's confidence. So you've got the lineage going, go for it.
Go, go, go.
Yes, confidence. And just resonate with the confidence. So when using the system for the pendulum, I'm asking that energy be sent to you, that you feel that energy, and that you take it on a conscious level. Bring all of that with you and have the confidence to go, okay, here we go.
It's time.
Yes. So this can help personal relationships. It can help business. It can help health in every area of your life. Because once you change appeasement to confidence, watch out, here comes Diane. The powerful woman has spoken.
I love it.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So I hope that was helpful to you.
It really was. I wasn't expecting it to show up on the female side on that. So that's really cool.
Yeah. Female on the father side.
On the father side, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it.
Good. All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Hey, ladies, that was awesome. And thank you so much, Diane. I just want to acknowledge you for being open to share that in a public space. Yes. And I'm excited to see for you, like what happened to me, being able to move forward through that, break those generational curses and impact your lineage to come.
Love it. Thank you so much for the opportunity. It's been wonderful.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you, Diane.
Awesome. All right, great. Well, now, since we had one female, we wanted to balance out the energies and bring in the man, the legend, the myth, not really, Sean Waite.
Hi, Sean.
My brother from another. Super excited to have you here, Sean. I'll do the same thing. I'll just go ahead and move out of the way of greatness and let you guys take it from here.
Okay, Sean. Any particular question, or would you like me to move in the same way I did with Diane?
I'd like you to move in the same way as Diane, please.
Okay, great. Okay. So first we're going to find out where in the lineage there is a limited mindset. So I'm asking in my mind for the one that's the most potent, the one that's most disruptive. Okay. Okay, so you have a 7th generation. Again, it's a female. This one's on the father's side. Okay, so again, I'm using a pendulum. So we want to find out what the main area of that limited mindset is. It goes to personality. So let's see. Okay, so let's find out what energy we're talking about. Okay, this has to do with the word justice or respect. So there is something about and feeling justified or respected by others for your value. Does that make any sense to you?
Makes quite a bit of sense, yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, So we're going to do the same thing. And we're going to just ask, my higher self, my potential in me, talking to that energy within you. And we're just going to ask the universe to help. Let's let it go. Just that awareness, because if we don't hold that respect for ourselves, no one else will. We have to hold it. And it's our personal value, our own opinion about ourselves that's going to make the shift. So in reference to business, very important that you really get your value. If you don't get it, you can't sell it to anybody else in your new adventure, right? So this is so important to clear for your new adventure. It's even more important than what you're selling. It's you. You have to have that personal value, because people buy from who's selling your energy, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And if there's any situation where you didn't feel justified or respected, or you felt like something wasn't appropriate, if you had to deal with anything like that, or you had to prove yourself, did you ever have to do that?
Yeah, they're constantly in sales and in the military as well.
Okay. All right. So let's just clear remember, I'm clearing a personality. So the personality of having to prove yourself, we're letting that one go. We want you just to be who you are. There's no need to prove. It's just you're naturally who you are. And that's going to make the difference. Okay? Because as I was explaining to Diane, we can say a mental affirmation, this is who I am and this is what I have to offer. But if the subconscious has a different message, it's not going to fly. So we're letting go of the character. Remember, it's a personality. There was some lady back there who had to prove herself all the time. Remember, lives were tough, remember? So she's always having to prove herself, justify and get respect. So that angst is what we're letting go, so that you can just naturally just relax into who you are. Okay? Does it make sense?
Totally.
Okay. No more fighting about who you are. No having to prove it. You're just awesome as you are. Okay?
Yep.
Okay? It really has to sink in and let it, sometimes I call it a clunk. Just let it clunk that I'm good. I'm good. Okay, so this is clearing here. All right, let's see what we can replace with. It's just joy. It's joy about being who you are. Your joy is going to sell you, not the other energy of having to prove that I'm awesome. It's your joy. Your natural joy is going to sell. I already get that from you, so that's it. Okay? All right, so we're just asking to have that come in. Because you don't need to carry the burden of the lineage anymore, of having to prove the lineage. It's the same. That proving who I am can stop with me. I'm just here to just give the joy from the lineage. So let me see if there's any special gift that the lineage, that this seventh energy wants to give to you. Okay, so you had two. One is about the inner confidence and just knowing to stand in that place. And the other one is to be open, stay open. Just let the universe help, because this person came from a lot of restriction. You were carrying the restriction. Okay. And this energy is saying, let restriction go and be open. And then you'll know exactly what the steps you need to take.
Wow. One of the things I've said, and I don't know my father's side very well at all. And but I've equated the last name that I carry, Waite. I've always said that I want to change what I perceive as the value with it that goes with that name. I want to disrupt and change that and make it represent something different. So that's something I guess maybe I've been carrying with you, talking about the proving and respect.
Yes. That's the weight. So what weight would you like to carry now?
I guess the weight of being able to handle the success I'm going to have.
And handle the weight of joy. Handle that. You know, we don't want the weight to be more of a burden. Just handle. I carry the weight of joy. Makes it lighter, I would think.
I agree.
Right? Yeah. Great. Anything else?
No, that's wow. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for volunteering and being open, being spontaneous about it. Thank you for being open to that.
Yeah. And I'm sure my mother will be glad to hear that it's my father's side, not hers.
Oh, yes, you can relax now.
That was awesome.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Appreciate you. Thanks so much, Sean. That was so cool. I love this. Thank you so much, Shakti. This is great. And I wanted to let you know too, we had I hope you're still here, Wilma. I'm amazed at what is going on. I may need her assistance before I continue to think something is blocking my progress. Yes, Wilma, I'll get you connected. Shakti does, for those of you who want, she has a great, amazing offer at the end, which we'll talk about. But I would just like to, I don't know, because there's so many things out there, right? So many techniques. I've done all of it, right? I've done acupuncture, subconscious mind coaching, and there's all of these gurus, right, selling people on stuff. But it really does come back to a lot of what you teach and share that may be holding us back, don't you think?
I think so. And we don't even know we're holding it from the lineage.
Yeah, because I even thought I had when I went through and I could share my report. I'm open to that, but I haven't gotten the family's permission. So I'm just going to say, like, when I read it, I was like blown away. Like, I thought everything was coming from my dad's side, and a lot of it was coming from my mother's side. And the things that I saw, I was like, oh my gosh, like it all made sense. So I guess really give a snapshot, as I know we're coming to the end here. And obviously I'd encourage you guys, this is definitely not a self-help or personal development thing that you just read a book, right? There's so many people addicted to personal development and self-help, and I'm just going to read a book. It's going to make me feel better for the moment, but it doesn't get to the root cause of the issue, right? And so how do you work with people? And then maybe this is a good segue into sharing about what you're offering to our listeners today.
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, I make a family tree, a mother's side, father's side. And then I identify all the limited beliefs that you got from each of those people. You don't even have to know them because it's going great. You don't have to have met them ever. And I will still find out what limited belief is carried to you.
I was going to say, even if someone's adopted, right? And they've never known their bloodline.
It doesn't matter. They don't even have to know the names. And then I tell you what percentage you're still carrying that. And then we work together, have some sessions if you want. We work together to let go of the mindsets. But the report will be the mother's side, father's side, all the limited mindsets you picked up from them, the percentage that you're still carrying them. And then we review. I email that to you, and then we review together, go over it all for an hour, and then we'll start to process and let it go. And if you want to do more work, then we discuss that.
Awesome. So for those of you who are friends of the Healthy and Wealthy and Wise community, and this is evergreen, right? They can, if they're listening to this 5 years from now, could they still use this link that I have on the screen right now to get in touch with you? So it's www.themindsetcompany.com/HWW, which of course stands for Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise. And any other advice, any other words of wisdom that you can provide people, knowing what you know, knowing that you've done this for 30 years, what other words of wisdom can you share with our audience before we wrap it up?
Well, I thought of something funny, is that I got an image of, I was asking what's an image of a limited mindset? And I got a cork in a bottle, like a bottle of wine. And so the cork's purpose is to stop the flow. So that's what the limited mindset does. And it disrupts our world until we let go of the cork and let it flow. So it's just really important if you want to do something on your own, just take what you take away from today is just to know, if you're aware of a mindset, is to know that the mindset stops with me.
That's awesome. And I've heard so much about breaking generational curses. I've heard so much about so many different things in my journey, but what you do is uncover the things that we can't see. You could meditate all day, every day, and yet if you still have call reluctance, it's because you don't believe in yourself 2, 6, 7 generations past. You can't necessarily summon up the techniques or the strategy to do that, right? So I'd really love for you guys that are listening. Yeah, Sean, that's awesome. Yes. So Sean is a father, heading into Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all of you out there. Will this break the chain so my son doesn't have to deal with the limits going?
Absolutely. That's why I gave that example of the father shifting and the son changing. And remember, Sean, this is why I got into this, because I did not want my sons carrying my limited beliefs. That was my main impetus for my work. So yes, the answer is yes.
That's awesome. If anybody else has any last quick questions, now is the time. Normally I actually have a 30-minute show. Today we're going a little bit longer because of the topic. In the meantime, just a really quick reminder, on Friday, our regularly scheduled show is with one of my friends that I met, who's an amazing leader. He came out of a car crash, basically the only survivor, and to be able to understand his life purpose, to come from a place of working balanced and having a balanced life, which is something I'm very passionate about. He talks about productivity and working from a place of purpose and how to be truly productive, not working insane hours just to quote unquote prove yourself and be on that hamster wheel, which is something that I'm very near and dear to. So Dan LaFave will be on Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And so if you can tune in on Friday, please invite your friends. And again, as a gentle reminder, if you saw value in this show today and you haven't done so already, please hit the share button. Whether this is a recording on YouTube or wherever you found this, please share this with people, even if it's beyond Father's Day weekend, which is coming up here fast. We want to make sure that as many people get access to this information, because it's definitely not something you learn about every day, and definitely don't learn about it in the traditional models of school and things of that nature. So as we close it out here, I always like to ask of my guests the same question, because I believe we all have innate wisdom and perceptions. And I'd love to hear your definition, Shakti, when you hear the phrase healthy and wealthy and wise. What does that mean to you?
It means to take the time to connect to your own guidance, your own inner source for guidance, so that you can listen to your own mindsets. Don't listen to anyone else's, and don't listen to your own limited mindsets. That's what it is. And just wanted to mention that there is an offer for today. Are you going to explain that, or shall I?
Oh, yes. I'm so sorry. I thought we already did. I apologize. So yes,
No.
I already put it on the screen. So tell us more about that, themindsetcompany.com/HWW. What will they find at that link? Thank you so much.
Usually the Mindset Ancestry report is $400. It includes the report and 1 hour with me to review. For those listening, it's $250. So check it out. Look at the landing page. See if you feel called to do it.
Awesome. And what a great gift. If you want to gift this to a father in your life, and heck, pretty much anyone, it doesn't have to be a Father's Day. Doesn't have to be a Father's Day gift. But at the same time, I think it could be life-changing for all of those that that who are in business, especially if they are being held back financially or in their health. Like I shared with you autobiographically, I manifested an autoimmune disease and definitely some scarcity in my own income as a result of my lineage. And so we want to be able to share this with, more than the fathers out there. But if you know someone that you could give this to or gift this to for Father's Day, that could be a great gift. But also if you're hearing this beyond Father's Day, this is a great gift for yourself. This is the gift that keeps on giving, because it can change your lineage and generations to come.
Yes, and it frees you from the past and frees lineage going forward.
Awesome.
Okay.
Wonderful. Well, thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Shakti and Diane and
Lois and Diane and Sean. Thank you.
Until next time, guys, as always,
okay.
Log on to healthyandwealthyandwise.com to hear this recording and other guests and share it with those who you care about. And until next time, here's to your best health, your best wealth, and your best wisdom. Bye-bye for now.
Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe, refer a friend, and please drop me a rating or a review. If you do that, I'll reward you with a free 20-minute free coaching session on crafting your journey to your best self. Reach out to me at lois@loiscoffee.com to claim your 20-minute slot. Until next time, be healthy, wealthy, and wise.